You know how it is you want the real scoop on how things are changing fast without getting buried in jargon.
Exactly. Information overload is real.
So today we're doing a deep dive into focus groups. Essential tools, right? But they're evolving.
They really are. We're looking at how virtual, hybrid, and good old in-person methods are shaking out. What works, what doesn't, and why.
Yeah, and we're drawing from a great article, The Future of Focus Groups, Virtual Hybrid or In-Person. It's by Sneha Mali from Cognitive Market Research, published back in December 2024.
A solid source. Our mission here is basically to unpack the pros and cons of each approach.
And figure out what influences the choice and where things seem to be headed.
Okay, let's dive in. First up, virtual focus groups.
Right. The article really stresses how they've just exploded, hasn't it? Beyond just being a niche thing.
Totally. They kind of smash those geographical barriers. Think about reaching people anywhere.
Which is huge for, say, global brands needing diverse perspectives.
Absolutely. Or even smaller, niche brands. They can suddenly tap into very specific audiences scattered all over. Imagine a brand needing feedback from, I don't know, left-handed rock climbers who only climb granite.
Okay, maybe a bit specific, but point taken. You can get super targeted without flying people around.
Precisely. And the convenience for participants. That's a major factor mentioned.
People joining from their couch. Makes sense.
Yeah, easier scheduling, less travel hassle. The article suggests this boosts participation rates.
And maybe makes people more relaxed and open.
Possibly. It implies engagement can be higher, potentially leading to more candid responses.
Okay, so reach and convenience are big pluses. But what about the actual quality of the discussion online? The tech side.
That's where it gets interesting. It's not just a video call anymore. Think screen sharing.
Ah, so you can show them concepts directly, website mockups, ads.
Exactly. Get immediate reactions.
Yeah.
And then you have tools like real-time polling.
Quick feedback loops.
Yeah, and interactive whiteboards for like collaborative brainstorming. It adds dynamism.
So it can be quite interactive, not just passive listening.
Definitely. And a huge practical benefit, the article highlights transcripts and recordings.
Oh, right. Ready almost instantly.
Pretty much. Automated transcription saves researchers tons of time on analysis, makes finding key themes much faster.
I can see how that speeds things up. Okay, so that's virtual. Now, the article also talks about hybrid models. What's the deal there?
Well, it's like it sounds a mix, combining in-person elements with virtual ones.
Okay. How does that actually
Right.
work? Like some people in a room, some on screens?
Yeah, that's one way. You
Yeah.
might have your core group, maybe key stakeholders or a specific local segment, physically present.
So you get that face-to-face dynamic.
Right. But simultaneously, you could have other participants joining remotely. Lets you blend that in-depth observation with broader reach.
That sounds complex to manage, but flexible.
It can be, but it offers adaptability. The article mentions it's good for different research goals and budgets.
How so on the budget side?
Well, you might spend more on the logistics for the smaller in-person group, but the cost per virtual participant is lower. You can balance it out.
Okay, resource allocation flexibility. Makes sense. Any examples?
The article mentions things like doing live product testing in person
Right, the hands-on bit.
and then following up with virtual discussions involving a wider audience who couldn't be there physically.
That's clever. Get the tactile feedback, then broaden the conversation. Okay, so despite all this tech, the article still argues for traditional in-person groups, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It insists they're still vital.
Why? What's the unique value proposition now?
It really boils down to observing human interaction unfiltered.
Hmm.
Body language,
Yeah, the nonverbal stuff.
facial expressions, group dynamics, how people react to each other. The article states this gives insights into sentiment that are just, well, harder to capture fully online.
You miss those subtle cues on a video call sometime.
You really do.
Yeah.
And it connects us to certain industries like luxury goods.
Or healthcare, it mentioned.
Exactly. Places where trust, emotion, sensory experience are critical. Building rapport face-to-face can elicit more genuine, deeper responses.
And for product testing, especially physical products.
In person is often still king there. Think about testing the feel of a fabric, the ergonomics of a device, the taste of a food product.
Right. You can't replicate that tactile sensory stuff easily through a screen.
Not yet, anyway. So the article concludes in-person remains indispensable for certain research goals, even with the rise of digital.
Okay, so we have these three modes: virtual, hybrid, in-person. How does a company choose? What are the deciding factors?
The article lays out a few key things. Number one, your research objectives. What exactly are you trying to learn?
Got it. Be clear on the goal first.
Then consider the target audience. Are they tech savvy? Where are they located? What's their availability like?
Makes sense. Match the method to the people.
And naturally, budget is always a factor.
So quick global feedback points to virtual. Deep sensory testing points to in-person.
Generally, yes. And hybrid offers that middle path, that flexibility.
The article mentioned cost effectiveness for virtual again. Is it significantly cheaper?
Usually, yeah. You cut out venue costs, travel, catering. The logistical overhead is lower.
But you need to ensure people have the tech and are comfortable using it.
It's a key consideration. Might need tech support or even provide devices sometimes. Okay, so looking ahead, what's the future look like according to the article?
It paints a picture of innovation mixed with tradition. Virtual and hybrid methods are definitely gaining ground, becoming more prominent.
But not necessarily replacing in-person entirely.
No, it seems more like an integration. And technology is the big driver. AI, virtual reality.
Oh, yes. How might those play a role? Well, the article suggests some really cool possibilities. Think AI analyzing facial expressions or voice tone for sentiment during virtual sessions, real-time emotional feedback.
Whoa, that's next level.
Or using VR to simulate, say, a shopping aisle or a new store layout. Test concepts in immersive environments.
So you get behavior in context, almost.
Exactly. These advanced tools are expected to become more common. But it's not just about the high-tech virtual stuff.
How so?
Even traditional in-person groups will likely evolve, integrating more digital elements.
Like using tablets for instant polls within the room.
Precisely. Or maybe digital pre-surveys and post-surveys to layer quantitative data onto the qualitative discussion.
So blending methods even within a single format.
Yeah. And the prediction is that hybrid models could become sort of the default choice for many, just because they offer so much flexibility.
Adapting to different needs.
But the core aim doesn't change. Getting those rich, actionable insights to drive decisions and innovation.
So if companies want to really nail focus groups going forward, what's the advice from the article?
Embrace the new tools, basically. Look into AI for sentiment analysis, maybe automated transcription to speed things up.
Make the data work harder.
And consider VR or AR if you're testing products or concepts where immersion matters.
And inclusivity seems key, too. Using virtual and hybrid to get diverse voices.
Absolutely critical. Reaching wider pools of participants and keeping them engaged. Personalized incentives, making the sessions more interactive. It's about creating a genuinely valuable experience for the participants, too.
Which links to participant expectations, right? People are probably getting used to digital convenience now.
That's a huge point the article makes. Participants value flexibility. They often prefer virtual or hybrid.
So platforms need to be smooth, user-friendly.
Definitely. Easy to use tech, clear instructions, streamlined sessions. No one wants a clunky experience.
And communicating the impact, letting them know their feedback matters.
Yes, that's important for fostering goodwill and encouraging future participation. Closing that loop.
And incentives beyond just cash.
Right. The article mentions things like exclusive previews, discounts,
Yeah.
value beyond just the payment, creating a real exchange.
Okay, makes sense. Now, are there downsides, emerging challenges the article flags?
Yeah, it's not all seamless progress. One potential issue with virtual is maybe less depth of interaction sometimes.
How come?
Technical glitches can disrupt flow, screen fatigue is real, and some people might just be more hesitant to share deeply or debate intensely online.
The human element might be slightly diluted.
It can be. And then there are the ever-present concerns around data security and privacy, especially online.
Crucial, protecting participant data.
Absolutely. Secure platforms, transparent processes about how data is handled, these are non-negotiable.
So it's a balancing act, leveraging tech while managing risks and maintaining genuine connection.
Exactly. And ethical considerations are paramount throughout all of this.
Like informed consent, especially with hybrid and virtual.
Informed consent, clear privacy policies, transparency, adhering to strict ethical guidelines is central.
And creating a respectful environment, mindful of cultural nuances, avoiding leading questions.
All of that. Ethics have to underpin the entire process, regardless of the format.
Okay. Before we wrap this deep dive, was there any hard data point in the article that really showed this shift?
There was a pretty striking statistic from a 2023 Green Book study.
Oh, yeah. What did it say?
It found that 68%, so over two-thirds of market researchers, reported using virtual or hybrid focus groups as their primary method.
Wow, 68%. That's not a small trend. That's, Well, that's the mainstream now, isn't it?
It really signals how significantly the landscape has already shifted.
Okay, so let's quickly recap. The focus group world is definitely in flux. Virtual and hybrid are major players now, offering incredible reach and flexibility.
But in-person hasn't disappeared. It
Mhm.
still holds unique value for deep nuance, sensory feedback, and observing those subtle group dynamics.
And the future looks like a blend, driven by tech like AI and VR, but always needing careful thought about objectives, audience ethics, and budget.
You've got it. Hopefully everyone listening now has a much clearer picture of the options and the trade-offs.
Right. So here's something to chew on as we finish. Thinking about all these trends, the tech, the convenience, the potential pitfalls, and maybe your own experiences giving feedback, what do you think is the biggest potential upside, or maybe the biggest challenge, of these evolving focus group methods when it comes to truly understanding what people need and prefer?
A good question to ponder.
Definitely.
Thank
Thanks for digging into this with us today.